Hello, YouTube. I want to tell you about a couple of incidents at UPS where people got hurt at the United Parcel Service warehouse. In this case, in Stafford, Texas, off of Highway 90A at Stafford Road. We had a supervisor. He was very short in stature, and one day he got hurt. I don't know exactly what happened, but he came to me and he was bleeding. He was in the office, and I took him in there, tried to get first aid. This is before I knew how bad their first aid supply was, and he had a laceration that needed medical attention. He needed to go to the hospital, and we didn't have any bandages readily available, nor did we have any kind of tape specifically for holding bandages on, which is what he needed. He needed a bandage and some gauze to wrap it with. So I had to go and grab paper towels and packing tape that you put around the cardboard boxes in order to have something to control the bleeding and to handle wound care on a very crude level. The supervisor, Keyshawn was his name. He's not at that hub anymore. He got transferred out to Sweetwater last I heard. He was very upset about it, obviously, and the company was ill-prepared to deal with his injury there on site. Our first aid supplies at the building were pathetic. The company really didn't care about personnel safety. If there was an injury, you'd have to have your own first aid stuff on standby because they didn't keep the stores stocked. And at one point I saw where they kept the first aid stuff, their bandages and so forth, and it was just a mess. There was cardboard dust mixed in with it. It was all busted open. It was in the back of the warehouse when I saw it. And all they had in there were gauze squares. There was very little other medicine like iodine or hydrogen peroxide or alcohol or anything like that. They didn't have any of that. And it wasn't much better in the management office in the front of the building. When I got hurt, when I was struck in the head by a piece of plant equipment, breaking a jam on the upper level, a section of the slide hit me in the forehead between the eyes and cut me. And I had a hole, a small hole in my face. And they really didn't care. They didn't take me to the hospital. They did not make sure that I got medical treatment, and then they wanted me back at work the next day. UPS does not give a shit about its workers. They're a terrible company to work for. They are rotten to their staff. If you get hurt, they expect you to just suck it up and be back at work the next day. Safety is literally just a word at the company. If you don't have an attorney whenever a serious injury occurs, the company is just going to screw you over. If you're not full-time, it's especially bad. Part-time workers get terminated for next to nothing, and they don't get paid well at all. And there were a number of different people that I encountered at the company who had injuries, who ended up with disability. And the company did not take care of these people. They would usually end up losing their jobs there after getting hurt because they wouldn't be able to continue to function in those positions that the company wanted them to function in, and they would not give them an accommodation. That's what it's really like. There was another incident where I was walking next to the aisle. I was on PD1 by the bathrooms. It was a few bay doors down from the bathrooms. It was by the supervisor's desk there in the warehouse, where the flow comes up out of the pit and drops down to go back up towards the ceiling before dropping down to PD2 or PD3. And an E-reg, a long pipe-like E-reg, fell off the train because they didn't have any load retainers. And it was getting dragged, one end on the train, one end off. This little airport-type cargo train with no safety railing or tethers or anything on the sides to keep the packages from falling off. And the package struck me, and it pinned me against a piece of plant equipment. And I thought I was going to lose my leg. My foot and my ankle were getting crushed against this heavy steel platform that's meant to hold the rollers. And I was terrified. The train driver stopped, and he came and he pulled the E-reg off of me, but this irregularly sized package was very heavy, and I couldn't get free. I couldn't get out from under it. I ended up having to go to the doctor by myself, get x-rays, and they billed me out of pocket. Once again, the company did not send anybody to escort me to the doctor. They didn't see my care or anything. They really didn't give a damn. And this continues to be the case today. You don't want to work for UPS, because if you get hurt, they'll blame you and they won't take care of you, and they'll try to get rid of you if you have any complications associated with your injury.